Hi, Elva. Hi, this is Nora from San Antonio.
Hi, Nora. It's Elva. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Today, I wanted to talk about a few things that have happened over my lifespan over all these 62 years. So we're not going to go year by year, don't worry. But friends, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me and some crossroads that I've had, and also how some of these crossroads and some of these people in my life have influenced me. And I still think about them now, just that little bit of information that they may have given me or guidance, or maybe it was just, getting after me. It was actually a scolding, but now I think about it and I think, oh my God, they were so right about whatever they were telling me. So we're going to go back. So we're going back and we're going to go back to circa 1978, I would say, or 79. Yeah, we're going way back. So it was Christmas break. I was in high school, and I was thinking, well, what am I going to do over Christmas break? My boyfriend worked, so he had a little job, and I thought, well, should I get a job? And I thought, no, I can never get a job. I hadn't worked. Who's going to hire me, right? So we're walking in our little town, downtown, because there was no malls or anything like that in our small little town. And he says to me, why don't you get a job at that little store in the corner there? And I thought, I can't get a job there. That was like a really high fashion little boutique for, very high end polished women. I'm like, they'll never hire me. I mean, me, I'm not going to even go in there. And he said, just go in. And I'm like, no, I won't do it. I won't do it. They won't hire me. And then finally I thought, okay, just to prove you wrong, that they won't hire me, I'm going to go in there. So I went in there. And of course, this is way back when, right, where they tore off the application from the tablet and they handed it to you and said, fill it out. So I did. I filled it all out and I left it there. And I thought, so I came out and I said, there, are you happy? I applied. I'm done with that. Let's go eat or whatever. Right. So then lo and behold, I get home and I get a call, and it's from that one store, and it was called the Style Shop. Anyway, so the Style Shop was calling, and I was like, oh my God, what do they want? So they asked me and said, well, we see you filled out an application. Would you like to come in on Saturday and start working as our gift wrap girl? And I thought, me? This can't be me, right? So sure, they were calling me. So I thought, oh my God. Then I was excited about it. Isn't it funny how sometimes you think, I can't do something, I can't do something. Somebody pushes you to do it. And then, you actually get somebody to say, yeah, you can do this. Come on in. And you're like, me? Yes. And then you're happy about it. So anyway, yeah, called everybody and said, hey, I got a job. They were like, you? And I'm like,
You?
you?
What?
Anyway,
How old were you?
I was the 17.
Okay. That
Yeah,
was that your first job?
that was my first real job. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
17. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I had a summer job with you, but that was way before.
Okay.
That would have been like way, way before. But anyway, so I go in on Saturday, and so I'm doing my little thinking what I'm doing, my gift wrap. And so they have this lady training me, and she's like, oh no, not like that. You're doing it all wrong. And I was like, okay, I didn't know if there was a right way and a wrong way. What did I know about gift wrapping, right? So every time I tried to cut something or fold something, she was like, oh no, not like
Oh,
that. She was just so meticulous about it, and she would not waste not an inch of paper. So it was like
oh.
all, the wrapping paper, she used it all. It was all perfect. And then the gift just came out perfect. Anyway, long
Mm.
story short, I learned from her. And then I guess I was doing pretty good, because then the owner came over and said, well, we need somebody in the jewelry department. And we decided that you're going to the jewelry department. And I said, me? So the jewelry department was right as you walked into this store. So trust me, I was like scared to death, because I thought, I have nothing to say. I can be in the back, with gift wrapping, but in the front trying to sell jewelry, what do I know about jewelry? I had my 10-cent jewelry from, the little dime store. I didn't have anything fancy. So anyway, so here I am in the jewelry store, in the jewelry department. And I found that, I was trying to do my sales, and, you had to write it all down on a piece of paper. And then you would take the little ticket or the paper over to the cashier, and then she would ring up the customer. So then I kept trying to do it as fast as I could, because I thought, well, that's what I need to do, right? Be as fast as I can. And then one day, this older lady that worked there, that was very tall, I remember her being very tall with very short hair. Maybe she wasn't that tall, but to me that day, she seemed like she was just a giant. And she took me aside and she said, I need to talk to you. And I was like, to me? And she said, So I went over and I talked to her and she said, "Why are you always in such a hurry?" And I said, honestly, I don't even think I said anything. She said, you do need to slow down. And actually, she told me in Spanish. She said, let me remember what she said. She said, what did she say? No comas ansia. That's what she said. And I tried Google Translate today, friends, and it does not translate well. It did not say what she was saying. So what she was saying again was like, hey, don't be in such a rush. You need to slow down. There's no reason for you to be in such a rush. And I thought, oh, okay. And to this day, like I said, I can still remember that lady. I can still see her face if I close my eyes. And I'll never forget what she told me. I'll never forget that. Well, that was that. That was me at 17 with my very first real job. So
Wow, you have a good memory.
you think so? Well, those
Yeah.
are, there's some things that happen in your life, and that's probably happened in your life too. Although there are things that you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to remember that, and you're not trying to remember it, but you just remember it because you do, right?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
experiences, but I don't remember a lot of things people said to me in my first jobs. My first job was at 14, but I don't remember things like nobody ever gave me, wisdom or anything which I
Yeah.
think it was impactful for you. So that's good, but I don't remember
Well,
like that.
interesting enough, I didn't take it as wisdom at the time. I just
Okay.
thought it as, oh, this old lady, she's a busybody. And really, I think that she was like in her 40s. She was not an old lady.
Oh,
But
okay.
to me, being 17, I was like, oh, this old lady, she's just a busybody. Why does she just leave me alone and go be old somewhere? But now I think 40 is young. But anyway, so that was that. Then I'm going to fast forward to my 20s. Okay. So now I'm in my 20s and I'm thinking, okay, well, I started college. I started my junior college there in my local town. And then I thought, well, it's time to get married because I'm in my 20s, and I thought, well, this is what you do. And friends, I don't know if that happened to you, if you're around our age, which I'm 62, that's just what happened. You were home, then you went to school, and then you got married. Or of course, I didn't finish school at that time, but I did get married, right? And I remember my mother sitting me down, and she gave me a little story, and she said, there was this little bird. I'll give you the short version. There was a little bird that lived in a golden cage. And this little bird was owned by a lady who had a lot of money. So this little bird had plenty of food, plenty of water, had a little bird bath inside the cage, had everything that she wanted, right? In the mornings, that lady, the owner, would take the little bird with the little golden bird cage out to the patio so that the little bird could get some fresh air, and the little bird would sing and dance and, kind of have a little bird bath, whatever. And this other little bird would come by that didn't look so good, a little scrawny, maybe missing a few feathers, and say, you are the luckiest bird in the world. You're in this beautiful cage. You have all this food. You have water. You have somebody, that cares for you, and they take you in and out. You don't have to worry for anything. If it's raining, if it's cold, if it's hot, nothing affects you because you're covered. You're taken care of. And the little bird in the golden cage turns to the little bird with the missing feathers and the crooked beak and didn't look so good and says, actually, no, I envy you. I envy you because you are free. And isn't that funny? And I'm not sure why my mother told me that story right before I was going to get married, but that's a story that she told me. So to this day, I always think of that story and I'm like, okay, well, anyway, I still got married. I didn't listen because at that age, in your 20s, you're like, what do you know? You already lived your life. You don't know. And I'm in love, and nothing could be better than for me to get married. Right. So
You think she didn't want you to get married?
No, she did not want me to get married. And she told, well, after telling me the little bird, story, she also mentioned that, like my sister, my oldest sister, had just graduated, I think, from UT in Austin. And she said, look at your sister. She went to the university. She's graduating. She's not married. She's older than you. What makes you think you can skip this step? Because it was supposed to be, the older sister gets married, then, the next sister, and so forth. And I just thought, well, I don't care. Anyway, I didn't listen, and I got married. So anyway, that was that area. So, and that, I always think about that story with the little bird. And sometimes, I'll tell that story to other people, that maybe not the same scenario about them wanting to get married, but just other scenarios where we can think that somebody else is so happy because from the outside, they just look like everything is perfect. Everything in their life is perfect. And then lo and behold, maybe it's not. maybe we don't need to envy those people. Maybe we just need to be happy and realize what we have and what we have going for us. So I don't know. That was something that she always mentioned to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely. I think you're right. I think we all think people have it better, or, they used to always say the grass is greener on the other side. And then years ago, I said, it's not, it's just green where you water it, where you care for it and what you love and how you take care of it. That's when it's good. When it's bad, it's because you haven't taken care of it. So it's not really greener on the other side. It's just greener wherever you care and love for it. So but you're
That's
right.
true.
People do think other people are, and especially I think with the rise of social media, everybody looks at people on those, different apps and thinks, oh my gosh, they have so much of a better life. They have more friends. They have, all these pretty clothes and stuff like that. And
Yes.
they make you feel inferior for sure.
Yeah, so true. I watch that too, and I see them, and I'm thinking, gosh, their homes are beautiful. Their gardens are beautiful. Even their pets look like so shiny and clean. And I look at my little Coco, and I'm like, you don't look like that, Coco. And even as much as I can give her a little bath, and kind of get her groomed in that. I mean, these other dogs have like the perfect little bows, and they have like the designer collars and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But you're right. I mean, we can't compare ourselves to other people. We just have to be happy with, where we're at, because that's what's important.
That's right.
So,
and I think we forget that. I think on a regular basis, we get caught up in it's not just about wanting more. It's about thinking that there's so much more to do. There's so much more you could be doing. And you forget to stop and realize what you're doing today is valuable and that you are worthy of whatever you're doing in life is good enough. And
because
you'll have better success tomorrow. Maybe you won't. Maybe you've hit the pinnacle of success already in the past years, but whatever it is, you have to just enjoy wherever you are.
Yes, absolutely. And not always feel like we're missing out. Sometimes you can always feel like, oh, I'm missing out because that other person and that other family is doing this, that, or the other. You're not missing out. Again, just focus on you, friends, and everything's going to be okay. But now I'm going to fast forward. Okay, I'm going to take you all the way to 2012. So 2012, I'm not married to the person that I married that I talked about a little bit ago. Not married to that person anymore. Married to another person, and he was kind of not forcing me, but he was trying to get me to go back to school. I had started, at the university. I started at junior college, but never finished. And he said, you should go back. And I thought, no, I can't go back. Here I go again. It's like, me go back? No, I can't. I'm too old. I'm not smart enough. I won't be able to keep up. I can't go back. It's too embarrassing. Everybody's going to be young. Anything you can think of, I thought of all of those reasons for me not to go back. Okay, so then he says, well, I'm going to register you and let's get you in. And kind of like when I was applying for that job, it was the same thing. I was like, well, you can register me. I don't care, but I'm not going to get in. I'm just not going to get in, right? They're not going to accept me. They're just not going to take me. So lo and behold, I get the email back. Now we have email, and because now we're in 2012, and they said, you are accepted. And I was like, what, me? It kind of goes back to the same thing. And all of a sudden, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm accepted now. Now what? Now I have to go. And so then it's the day that I need to go in, right? First class, first day. And I'm, dragging my feet. I'm doing everything in the world to not be able to get there on time and say, well, it's too late. I can't go because I'm late. I can't show up late. And my husband at the time says, no, you're going. I know you're late, but you're still going. And I thought, I cannot. Now it's even worse because I'm thinking, okay, now I have to walk into this classroom with all these students who in my brain are thinking they're all 18. And I'm going to walk in late. And I did. I walked in late. And of course, there's no seats available. The only seats available are way in the front. So here I go.
I love the front.
Yeah. I like the front too. Yeah, eventually I like the front. But on that first day when I was late and I was so nervous and my anxiety was at like a 2 million, and I just felt like everybody was staring at me and I felt hot and sweaty. You name it, I felt terrible that day. So I walked in and I didn't even look around. I think I just had my head down and I sat down in the front. And then, when the class was over, I thought, oh, it's already over? I had enjoyed it so much. And I was like, this is awesome. And then I did look around and turn around and saw there was other people, actually 2 other women that were my age. And we bonded, of course, because the 3 old ladies sat all together all the time. And we bonded this friendship that we still have, and we still get along, and we still go out to eat. But anyway, we went through all the way through graduation. We, took classes, and we would try to take the same classes together because we would help each other out. And we were all working, full-time working, and also going to school. So we would help each other out. But it turned out really well. I remember at the end, the counselors called me, and this is, at graduation, and they said, well, you need to come by and get your cords. And I thought, cords? What are you talking about? And they're like, well, you're an honor student. You need to pick up your cord. So I was like, me? So it kind of goes back to the same thing again, where you think this can't possibly be happening to me. But again, friends, everything is possible as long as you put that one foot in front of the other, you get there. So
That's right.
lo and behold, yeah, I did receive those cords, and I did, graduate summa cum laude, which I had to look up because I did not know what that meant. So had to look it up, find out what it meant. And I thought, oh, okay, this is what it means. You actually go up to the stage like at the beginning, you don't have to wait for the other 10,000 students behind you. So that was very, very exciting for me. So, and that's the reason, and you've done it too, because I've seen you do it. Whenever we meet young people or middle-aged people, any people our age,
Right.
that maybe are thinking about going to school, but never really finished, or thinking about anything in their life that they weren't able to finish or accomplish, it's never too late. It's never too late. You can always go back. I mean, I was in my 50s, when I got my bachelor's and then started my master's. So you can do it. Anybody can do it, friends. So if you've had people in your life that at the moment you may have thought, oh, these people are just getting on my nerves, they're pushing me to do something. They actually helped you, and they were there for a reason. They were there to kind of kick you, push you, and get you to the point where you are today. And I always think about those people, and that husband that pushed me to go to school is no longer with me, but we got a divorce, but that didn't work out. But hey, my degree is still on the wall, and I'm still very proud of it, very, very happy for it, and glad that he did. I do appreciate that about him.
I mean, is it something you had vocalized to him that you wanted to go back to school, or how did he know you wanted to go back to school?
He just kept telling me, you are so smart. There's no reason why you shouldn't go back to school and finish this. Because I think maybe what I did vocalize is I felt like people that had degrees were so much smarter than me. And he said, no, that's not true. You can do it. You're very smart. And I thought, and no, I was like, no. And not that I consider myself to be smart, but like I said, it's just about putting one foot in front of the other. Yeah. And I tell young people all the time, I said, I can help you, graduate, whatever you need to do. I can show you what needs to be done. And it's very simple, very, very simple. You just basically follow that syllabus and do everything you can, and just don't miss any classes and sit in the front, which is what I learned the hard way, sit in the front, and, talk to the professor, let them, even if you're in a class, I was in those classrooms with like 500 people in the classroom, sit in the classroom, sit in the front, talk to the professor. They'll get to know you. They want to talk to you. They want to see you succeed, so you can do that.
Yeah, they want you to come to their office and ask questions or ask for help. That's very true. Now, are you thinking about finishing your master's?
I'm considering it, but it's so expensive, and I'm closer to retirement, which again, maybe that's an excuse, but I would have to take on more, loans and things, and I don't know if I want to do that at this point, but
yeah, I agree. I think that, I think if you pursue it just for the point of having it, it's great. But at this stage of life, it is just an expense if you're already thinking towards retirement.
Yes.
So I agree. It's something, I think back, I know last week we talked about regrets, and I think sometimes I think back about pursuing my master's, and I think, what is that a regret that I have? Because it costs a lot of money, and maybe I used it for 10 or 12 years in my career, but I'm no longer really using it to the fullest, I guess. So I think everybody has to really self-evaluate what's important to them. Not everybody, and I'll tell you, not everybody goes to college, and I don't know that everybody needs to go to college. Some people automatically choose a trade that they really want to do, or something that they want to, pursue, and they don't go. And so the path is your path is your path, and you have to make the decision for yourself what
Absolutely.
path.
And as long as you're happy with that path, then that's good. But for me, because I had started that junior college so long ago, when I graduated high school, that was still something that was kind of, in the back of my head where I wanted to do it, but I needed that push. So, and it's always good to have somebody like that in your life, or to be somebody like that for somebody else's life, helping them say, because you kind of know they want to do it, but they can't do it on their own. They need that push.
Right.
And that's a wonderful thing. But I know that, like, right now, I do have Richard that does tell me now and then, you really should finish your master's. I don't have that much to go. It's just a few classes. How much money can it be? And you know what? I love going to school. I realize that it was like my favorite thing to do. I looked forward to it. I enjoyed it so much that, yeah, it would be something that I would love to go back and do. So friends, if you're thinking about going back to school, do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I enjoyed my master's program much better than undergraduate, because in your master's program, you're really focused on whatever interest you have. And so you're doing in-depth study and research just on the area of interest that you have, what you're planning to actually specialize in. So I like that for myself. And I really studied the inequalities that Hispanics face, the barriers they face in accessing higher education. So, and then I dedicated my career to education, basically. So I think all in all, if I think back about, again, what we talked about last week about regrets, is really thinking about it from not necessarily what you did or didn't do that way, but is like, it was an experience. This is the good that I got out of it. Yes, it was expensive, but oh, well, I would have spent that money probably on something else. 2 trips to Greece probably, or 3 trips to.
There you go. Yeah.
So, you end up spending the money anyway, somehow. So, but yes,
True.
your education is something that you never lose. And it is something that molds you into the person that you are. And then definitely, you probably inspired other people just from them knowing that you finished, or even them seeing that you finished. They may have said, "Hey, mom, you can go back to school. I have an older lady in my class, and she does really well, and she's smart, and you're just like her." And probably inspired you.
I hope so. I hope I did.
I think you did.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah,
But anyway, so that's my little trip for you guys down memory lane. So to get to know me a little bit better, and that's part of my life. Of course, that's not all of it. In 62 years, I've had a lot more going on and a lot more ups and downs. But those are just some of the things that I can remember that I always keep in the back of my brain. And I'm sure you guys have things that you keep in the back of your brain, memories that you have that are very personal to you. Let us know in the comments, if you have something or someone that has actually, kind of been a mentor to you in your life and said, hey, you can do it, whatever it was, and has helped you, be able to accomplish that one thing that you've always wanted to accomplish.
Yep, absolutely. And it's never too late to be a mentor to kids in your neighborhood, children at your church or something like that. Just help others. I think that's important. I think there were a lot of kids that I met in my career path that were very smart kids, but they just never had anybody who at home believed that they could do it because of they had never done it themselves, or the finances involved with it. So I spent a lot of time counseling students and parents about the benefits of pursuing higher education. So it was very rewarding for sure. Well, friends, just to let you know, Nora and I both are on a path right now too. We're looking to hopefully one day get monetized by YouTube. So one thing you can do to help us out is subscribe to our channel. It's free to you, of course, and it helps us to get closer to, I'm hoping that maybe one day we can make like $100 a month from our YouTube channel, which is minimum. And then we'll save that and go on a great trip each year, and then be able to record it and bring you friends along with us. So if you don't mind doing that, also when you do subscribe, if you wouldn't mind mentioning in the comment that you subscribe, so we can acknowledge you, and also tell us where you're from, where you're watching us from. We'd love to learn more about our subscribers as well. So we would appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Well said, Eva. Thank you. And here's my grease mug. As a matter of fact, we were talking about Greece.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I'm drinking tea out of our Greece. This is the one I got in Greece. So.
Oh, beautiful. That is a beautiful mug. Well, I have a nice glass of water today. It's very cold water.
Good. But thank you so much, friends. And as Eva said, please like, subscribe, share. let your friends and neighbors know that we're here. And again, we're here to talk about things that maybe, we're going through. And if you have something that you'd like to suggest that you would like for us to talk about, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you guys about next time. Well, next time I'll tell you about making my dogs their dog food. And they love it. And I've actually seen a little bit of a change in them. But anyway, that's for another day. I'll tell you that story later.
Oh, that's interesting. Definitely. My sister makes her dog food as well. So interesting. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.